if you hate America, then get the fuck out. That was the best shit ever. Hashtag best shit ever. There's a guy on the 35 freeway. He hangs around, you know, depending on which side you're going on. He kind of like rotates around, but he has a Mexican flag. And I always scream at him. I'm like, America! America! And he always gives me a look, and I'm just like, why are you flying a Mexican flag in America? I wouldn't go to Mexico and fly an American flag. That's disrespectful, right? And then there was that incident the other day, I think it was in Colorado, where they basically replaced the Mexican flag with the American flag. I was like, damn, dude, that's technically that's an act of war. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that, you know, they're just people that are just so clueless that a lot of people that are coming here don't like America. I don't know. And it's all these limousine. I'm going to take this phrase that somebody in the comment section taught me, and it's great. It's perfect. These limousine liberals, right? That, you know, that love, you know, they act like they care about poor people, but they don't. They don't care about the poor people in America. They don't care about the poor people in their own country, but they care about the poor people coming from another country. Oh, wait, so they can exploit them and use them for their own purposes, whether to make them look good or to use them for their cheap labor, for their businesses, for their, you know, hoity-toity, you know, like liberal products that they use in their factories, right? For their babysitters, to mow their lawn. All right, yeah, they love illegal immigrants here, and of course they're not living in their neighborhoods, and they're not, you know, they're not crowding their neighborhoods so they can't find parking. They're not bringing, you know, the ones who are. I know they're not all gangbangers, but they're gangbangers, and you know, gangs are really just the result of people banding together because of cultural dissonance and also poorness. You know, there's some people that, you know, they feel they have to steal, or they feel like they don't want to work, you know. Same thing happened with when the Europeans came over, right? The Irish, the Jewish people, the Italians, they all formed gangs and were fighting each other and shit because they were in a small space where they had to live it together, and they had cultural differences. It's no different, but people just act like everybody's safe and kind and, you know, very, you know, just mix tortillas and shit, you know, and that's all they do. They're just making tortillas. They're nice, man. Maria and her 5 kids, man, they're nice. I'm sure they are, but then you have Jose and Juan Miguel, you know, whatever. I'm just, you know, making shit, making names up, but you have people that are not, you know, don't have the best interests of the citizens in mind. You have people that are still in the cartels that are here. They're bringing their shit and their society and their culture up here. The cartels are still running through them. They have people that they're, you know, funneling drugs to, that live here, that live on the street, or that, I mean, on our streets, that are flooding drugs into our neighborhoods. They, you know, they're from different countries. They're, you know, I don't really, and it's so baffling to me. I think a lot of people, though, are starting to wake up, you know, and that's why they're trying to censor people. That's why they're trying not to get information. I guess this is good news. Today I walked in a place, and they were replaying Trump was going off telling people, like, you need to get out. I was like, damn, he's a New Yorker, like, through and through. People say what you want, but people are like, oh, he's so rude, but New Yorkers are just straightforward. And even though I don't really like the environment, I like the people of New York. But it's really, for me, it's a very congested, crowded city. I'll go visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. I'd be really annoyed. I don't like the environment, but I've always gotten along with the people. Anybody from East Coast, from Maryland, from Pennsylvania, from New York, I always vibe with them. If I'm ever in a situation where there are different like we have to mingle. There are people from different parts of the country. I just automatically gravitate toward the New Yorkers. I love the attitude. I love the no nonsense, no bullshit attitude, because if they like you for real, like they're really sincere. But if they don't, and they'll fucking tell you. And that's what Trump is. He just like cuts through the bullshit, right? I love that. Didn't really notice that before. People were just like, oh, he's just the bully. No, you're just a fucking hypersensitive mamby-pamby wussy ass. That's what you are, okay? You can't handle the truth. That's what it's about. You can't handle the truth. So, that's fine. Anyway, recording. So, yeah, so he doesn't cut through he cuts through the bullshit, and he's just straight up. And I've been saying this a while. A lot of people have been saying it. Why are you complaining about America if you think it's so great? You're using our resources, you're using the things that make us great, yet you want to dog on us. Why don't you go back to your own country and make it better, right? Or another country that you think is more fit and make that better. Like, why are you here? Why are you wasting your time? You just like to complain? No, you don't know anything about the world. You know what the fuck you're talking about. That's what it really is about. So it was awesome. It was awesome, man. It was like Christmas again. Christmas when he was going off on those people. Oh, so I lost my train of thought. The good news is I went to his place. There was a guy that was sitting down, and they were playing the speech where he's going off on and they had that annoying lady that was like, don't you think your tweets, are you worried that people think your tweets are racist? You know, and she's so fucking annoying. I was like, somebody throw a tomato at that bitch. If I just had tomatoes. You ever watch Muppet Babies? And like the bear, Fozzie Bear, was always scared of getting tomatoes thrown at him, but people fucking throw tomatoes at him. I'm like, that's the most satisfying but least violent thing I can do, is say that I want to throw tomatoes at people. It'd be the best shit ever. I once threw a tomato at her. So anyway, so I go in, and this guy, he's looking at the TV, and I look at it, and he's like, oh, isn't he a fool? Like, don't you think he's a fool? I was like, I fucking love him. I love him. He's the bomb. And I went off, and I just started going off, and I was like, we have poor people in this country that we need to take care of. We are not taking care of those people. You know, I have a lot of friends that are legal immigrants that have busted their butt, some have come from horrible situations, and they need to, you know, and they've stood in line, and they paid their dues, and all these people just walk across the border. And I was like, our country is great, because why are all these people coming here? Why are they coming here? Why? You know? And then he was like, and I probably went off on some more things, like we have military veterans that we're not taken care of. We have, you know, the school systems are overcrowded, blah, 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 blah. The parking situation, the traffic. A lot of people won't say this, but I bet you people that like to complain about the traffic, if we reduce the amount of legal immigrants, our traffic will also drastically reduce, okay? So I just start going off and off and off. And he was just like, you know what? You're right. And it's weird because usually, you know, I'll get more resistance with people that don't like Trump. But this guy, actually thought about what I had to say. And he was like, wow, you're right. You have a point. You know, he didn't even argue with me. And I was like, you're not going to argue with me? And it just kind of goes to show you, too, how on one level, the brainwashing is so prevalent, but at the same time, if people kind of hear another point of view, they might open up. You never know. So I would suggest, especially in this time where they're trying to censor stuff, and they're trying to censor stuff because they don't want people to have that point of view, right? It's like a spell that has been cast over people. They're like, right? And they're like, oh, open borders, be nice to the immigrants and the poor people. And then you tell them the truth, and they're like, oh, what? Oh, wow, I never thought about that. You're right, you have a point. Wow, that really isn't racist. It's really about, you know, trying to take care of our own citizens, and they're poor too. And, you know, so I was like, it kind of blew my mind, because I wasn't even expecting him to agree with me. I was expecting him to get all huffy and puffy. And then I was going to make a video about him getting all huffy and puffy, but he actually was just like, oh, wow. Like, you know, you know, so, and, you know, there are a lot of people too that, you know, like the moderates that just kind of go along without thinking. And then once the majority starts to tide or turn the tide, then they'll go along with the majority because they're not strong enough to kind of think on their own anyway. So they just don't, like, they just agree to get along. They agree because they don't want to be attacked in any way. But I don't think I'm threatening. I don't think he was just agreeing with me because I'm so scary. You know, I think he was agreeing with me because, and I know I didn't yell or anything. I was just very direct. But I think he agreed with me because he actually had another point of view, and he's probably used to just hearing the mainstream news, the mainstream media telling him what to think, and then he's just like, yeah, you know, like they're trying to do that preemptive shit right now, that whole Brian Seltzer thing, or Setzer, whatever his name is, you know, trying to say that, oh, we're the ones that are more professional, and, you know, you're gonna listen to these like memers, these bloggers, these people, like, you mean like me, like my videos? Yeah, oh yeah, but their ratings have gone down, so nobody gives a shit what they say anyway, because they know they've been proven liars, they've been proven manipulators, they've been proven they don't care about this country or the people of this country, so most people don't take them seriously. You guys, look, they have to pay the airport to play they pay the airport and other businesses to play CNN, to put CNN. It's not like people really want it, right? They're forcing us to watch their fucking propaganda, so nobody even really wants it. Even now, if I go in and I watch there's CNN, I'm just like, I try not to even support a place that has CNN or MSNBC on it, you know. Fox is okay. Fox, you know, they're more truthful, but I really, even I kind of watch all sides and put my put it together, make up my own decision instead of being told what to do, right? So anyway, yeah, man, if you don't like America, then you can get out. Like that movie, get out. Get a train, get a bus, get a plane, get a spaceship. I don't care what mode of transportation. Get some roller skates, a bicycle, a fucking Segway. Just get out, walk, use your feet, use your hands, crawl, whatever. Just leave. You're not gonna contribute, you're gonna bash. We don't want you here. Like, we don't, you know? So, and of course, and like all these celebrities that were just like, if Trump wins, I'm gonna go to like Canada. I'm gonna go to, oh, but why don't you go to Mexico? This is such a great country, right? It's such a great, why they never even say, they always say they're gonna go to some European country, or some, you know, very, very westernized country. They're never gonna go to like Haiti or fucking like Mexico or El Salvador. You know, Africa is not a country, but, you know, they never talk about any countries in Africa. They're always going to the westernized countries. I think that's funny too. So anyway, all right guys, that's it. Those are my thoughts today, y'all. Peace and love. Bye-bye.